Welcome to Art of Officiating's weekly dozen oldies but goodies episode. I'm Mark Bradley. My wife and I have been camping for the past week, so I've selected 12 videos from my archives to share with you. These videos are from Colorado Springs games, so I'll reference the Colorado 5-Person Mechanics Manual and Colorado Rules Interpretations and Modifications. Please consult your state's mechanics manual and rules interpretations if I say something that doesn't match what you do in your state. This clip is fairly old after we switched from knickers to black pants, but before the rule requiring at least 4 players on each side of the kicker when the ball is kicked. So for the sake of a teaching point, let's assume the new rule has been established. Rules 613 and 614 describe 2 important Team K formation requirements. Rule 613 says no K players, other than the kicker, may be more than 5 yards behind the kicking team's free kick line. And Rule 614 says at the time the ball is kicked, at least 4 K players must be on each side of the kicker. The back judge should not hand the ball to the kicker until he has counted 11 Team K players. And if the kick will start the first or second half, he should make sure the warm-up time has expired and 12 minutes are on the game clock. He can also ensure at least 4 players are on each side of the kicker. I officiated a game this season when a team lined up to attempt an onside kick, and they had only 3 players on one side of the kicker. When the back judge moved 1 player to the other side, the coach protested and yelled to the player to get back to the other side. So coaches don't always understand this fundamental rule. His final cross-check should be to ensure all players except the kicker are between the K35 and the K40. He should then hustle off the field, turn, pause, take a final look at the formation, and then raise his hand to indicate he is ready to officiate the free kick. It appears K18 will kick the ball. He raises his hand and approaches the ball. But then he stops and K1 kicks the ball. This is a dead ball free kick infraction. Any official that recognizes the foul can blow this dead. The back judge and the line judge who is at midfield are looking at the ball when it is kicked. The referee has a perpendicular look at the free kick restraining line, so he can also rule on this foul. As I said earlier, this game was played before Rule 614 was established. That's why this play was not stopped. Now, for the sake of another teaching point, let's assume this kick was legal today. K1 kicked the ball, and 4 players were between him and the linesman's sideline. So let's pretend K1 is the kicker, and he has another player behind him. K1 kicks the ball in the air, and K26 attempts to catch the airborne ball. Rule 756 says while any free kick is in flight in or beyond the neutral zone to the receiver's goal line, K shall not touch the ball or R or obstruct R's pass to the ball. A Team K player cannot touch a free kick in flight. This is different than the college rule, so a high school coach may believe this play is legal. I can't tell if K26 completely whiffs. Did he miss the ball, or did he touch the ball before it goes out of bounds? If he touches the ball, the line judge should throw his flag for kick-catching interference. Team R will most likely choose to enforce the penalty for this foul 15 yards from the spot where K26 touched the ball with an awarded fair catch. If K26 doesn't touch the ball, Team R will most likely choose to enforce the penalty for a free kick infraction 5 yards from the succeeding spot, which is the spot where the kick went out of bounds. As we've witnessed in previous weekly dozen videos, all kinds of fun happens during scrimmage kicks. There are at least 3 fouls during this play that the crew missed. Let's look at this play in segments. The first is a false start by K10. I'd let this go with younger players, but this is a foul at the varsity level. We're going to focus on the line judge, watch his movement, and then watch his eyes. At the snap, the line judge must release and move down the sideline to about halfway between the line of scrimmage and the end of the kick. While moving, he needs to watch his key, K1, and then shift his focus to R32 as the defender makes contact. The line judge is staring into the backfield until the ball is kicked. He then watches the ball in flight. May have taken him a second or two to find his key because he fails to see R32's hold and takedown at about the K44. At the snap, the head linesman will remain on the line of scrimmage until the ball passes the neutral zone and the linesman is sure the ball won't bounce back behind the neutral zone. The kick is far downfield, so he can release. He then needs to run, not walk, to about halfway between the line of scrimmage and the end of the kick. After the snap, he needs to focus on his key, the player closest to his sideline, K14. K14 is slipped around his opponent, R16, and races downfield. R16 is now a chaser. A chaser is someone who is directly behind his opponent. We look for chasers when we anticipate a block in the back. As a chaser, R16 will block his opponent in the back almost 100% of the time. The head linesman is not racing down the field, and so he's probably disconnected from his primary key. That leaves it up to the back judge. As you can see, this is a block in the back that is not flagged. The back judge is looking for a fair catch signal, but he should widen his radar enough to rule on this block. Let's go back to K10 and R32. They get to their feet and re-engage. They go spinning out of bounds. They are mutually holding each other, so I don't have a flag on either player. Fortunately, they quickly separate and there's no additional action in Team R's bench area. The line judge does a good job backing up so he can safely officiate the end of the play. That's why we clear the coach's area pre-snap. We don't want anyone in the restricted area when the ball is live because we may need to back up. When the ball is dead, the umpire needs to hustle to the players to help them separate. We can see the referee and back judge sprinting to that area. The umpire is too close to the line. We want our umpires to be deeper and wider than normal, about 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, and wide enough so the umpire doesn't have to worry about collisions with players racing downfield. The back judge is deep enough, but he's straight-lined. He needs to be wide enough inside the hashes so he can see the receiver's hands. This would be a good spot. This is the head linesman's key, but the back judge can also rule on the block. R10 initially contacts K2 from the side. He then maintains contact all the way past the receiver. This is not a block in the back. He's never a chaser, and he doesn't block K2 above the waist and between the shoulder blades. This is a good no call. The back judge tosses a beanbag to mark the end of the kick. This is for penalty enforcement if Team R is guilty of a post-scrimmage kick foul. Once R1 possesses the ball, any Team R foul will be enforced as part of the run. At the spot of the tackle, we'll see R24 contact K33 in the back. Unless this is ruled a personal foul, there should not be a flag on the play. We can reference the NCAA Rules Book officiating standards to provide guidance. Blocks in the back that occur at or about the same time a runner is being tackled should not be called unless they are in the nature of a personal foul or there is forcible contact that involves player safety. If R24's block allowed R1 to advance farther downfield, it would be a foul. This block was not a personal foul. It wasn't forcible contact that involved player safety. It didn't impact the play, so hold the flag. Here's another scrimmage kick play. At the snap, the line judge stands at the line of scrimmage and watches the ball until the punt is away. He's essentially doing the referee's job. These four players are unobserved unless the back judge is watching them. The line judge needs to stop at about the R45 instead of running all the way down the field to the same yard line as the back judge. The back judge will get the end of the kick. The line judge should not be running all the way down the field. The back judge is set up in a perfect position. He's 5 yards behind the receiver, inside the hash marks, and wide enough to see his hands. However, as the kick is in flight, the receiver moves forward 6 yards. The back judge does not match his movement. When the ball arrives, he's 10 yards away, which is about 5 yards too deep. The ball bounces at the R32 and immediately strikes a Team K player in the leg. As the ball comes to rest at the R17, the back judge tosses a beanbag to mark the spot of first touching by K. This is not kick-catching interference. None of the Team K players obstructed a Team R player's path to the ball. This is simply first touching. Team R will next snap the ball from the R32, the spot of first touching. In Colorado, the wing that is facing the holder goes under the upright with the back judge. The referee's starting position is even with and facing the front of the holder. It's permissible for the referee to line up 1 to 2 yards behind the yard line of the holder to get a better view of the block by the nearest lineman. The distance from the holder may vary depending on personal preference. Keep in mind the referee is responsible for the sideline and the pylon behind him if there is a run or pass to that side. The umpire should be wider to the referee's side to assist on ruling on plays at the goal line on the open side if a run or pass play develops. At the snap, the referee watches the holder and the kicker. The umpire watches the snapper and the guards. The wing official on the line of scrimmage has sole responsibility for encroachment or false starts. The wing official under the upright and the back judge rule on the position of the ball after it is kicked. So who's watching this player? The current Colorado Mechanics Manual is silent on which official watches this player at the snap. Should the referee take a quick look before he shifts his focus to the kicker and holder? Should the wing under the upright have initial responsibility before shifting his focus to the kick? What if a player blocks his view? The illegal block below the waist happened 2 or 3 times in the game, and the crew did not flag the foul. We need to pregame this coverage before each game. Does your state's mechanics manual address that player on the end in the backfield? Eye discipline will be the theme of the next handful of videos. The line judge has a lot going on at the snap and for a few seconds after the snap. The formation is balanced, so the back judge is keying on the widest receiver on the line judge's side. The line judge has the inside receiver on his side. The head linesman has the 2 receivers on his side. At the snap, the quarterback fakes a handoff and then throws a legal forward pass to the outside receiver on the head linesman's side. In Colorado, the wing that has the pass going away rules on forward or backward pass. But the line judge can't relax. Since the ball went away from his side, he's responsible to view all of the players that are behind the play. The back judge has shifted his attention to blockers ahead of the runner on the far sideline. The line judge can't be a ball watcher. Before we continue with the line judge, we'll quickly look at the umpire. As soon as the ball heads toward the sideline, he must shift his focus from the lineman and begin to view the blocks ahead of the runner. As the runner moves toward the sideline, the umpire walks forward and looks at 2 players at the A27. The referee can watch those 2 players. The umpire should run toward the sideline and be on about the A40 when the play concludes. He's essentially officiating air at this point. The referee should not be inside the hash on the near side of the field. He needs to pursue the play and help out on the opposite sideline if players go into the team box. Now back to the line judge. A1 must have had a beef with B4. He legally blocks his opponent, but at midfield he inexplicably swats him in the head. See where the line judge is looking? He's doing his job. He's not looking across the field. When the play goes away from a wing, that official is responsible to view all the players who are behind the play. That's a lot of players. Don't be a ball watcher. This is one of my favorite clips. The ball goes away from the line judge. Instead of ball watching, he focuses on players behind the play, including B22. B22 grabs A53's face mask and pulls him to the ground. A wing who will continue to focus on his responsibilities is priceless and will bail out a crew multiple times a year. The only teaching point for the line judge after he threw the golden flag of the year is don't bounce as you move. As you move down the sideline, turn and walk down the line while watching your key. Let's take a quick look at the head linesman. Watch him back up 5 yards so he doesn't get run over. I'd actually start backing up a little sooner. When the player hits the hash, I'm starting to back up. Don't wait until he reaches the numbers. The formation is balanced pre-snap, so the line judge has the inside receiver on his side, and the back judge has the outside receiver on the line judge's side. When A10 goes in motion and passes the right tackle, the assignments immediately change. The formation is now strong on the linesman's side. The linesman now has A10, and the back judge must shift his focus all the way across the field to the 2 outside receivers on the linesman's side. That's why the back judge should position himself in the middle of the field and not shift heavily to the side he's keying on. His key may suddenly change, just like in this play, and he can't be booking across the field to the opposite hash while the ball is being snapped. The line judge is responsible to watch A4. Rule 923D says it is illegal use of hands when a defensive player contacts an eligible receiver who is no longer a potential blocker. A4 is on the same yard line as B1. He's no longer a potential blocker. B1 cannot throw him to the ground. The quarterback has not yet released the ball. This should be a flag for holding. The quarterback passes the ball deep to the B5. It appears the line judge watches the ball in flight and misses A4's retaliatory hit on B1. These were 2 fouls the line judge missed because he failed to observe his key. Officials need to continue to focus on their keys and let the other officials do their jobs. We can't be ball watchers. Here's another eye discipline clip that includes a terrible optic. The formation is balanced. The linesman has the 2 receivers on his side of the field. At the snap, the linesman remains at the line of scrimmage and stares into the backfield. When the quarterback releases the ball, the linesman turns to follow the flight of the ball. His 2 keys are 25 yards away. The defender is looking at the ball as it arrives and is actually in a better position to catch the ball than the receiver. The ball hits the turf. The back judge, who is in a great position to view the matchup, signals incomplete pass. The visitor's sideline calls for a flag. The linesman continues to walk down the sideline. Then, inexplicably, 3 seconds after the pass falls incomplete, He winds up and throws his flag as far down the field as he can. Now it's the home team's turn to be incredulous. We need to earn the right to make difficult calls. Another way to articulate this concept is we enhance our call's credibility when our mechanics are sound. When wings are on the line to gain or goal line before the ball arrives, we have earned the right to make a judgment about the ball's location when it is dead by rule. When the back judge is on the goal line, when a Team K player attempts to legally bat the ball backward before it crosses the goal line, he's earned the right to make the call. When an umpire hustles to the line of scrimmage during a passing play, he's earned the right to judge whether the pass was caught behind or beyond the neutral zone. In this clip, the linesman really forfeits his right to rule on defensive pass interference. He didn't follow his key. Instead, he stared into the backfield until the quarterback released the ball. He didn't move down the field, so he didn't work hard to stay connected to his keys. I can't say if his sidelines eruption influenced his decision to throw the flag. I can't read his thoughts. I can tell you the optic is not good. He throws the flag right now. There are at least two valid responses to a coach who complains about a flag or missed flag. If I'm feeling a little snarky, I might say, "Coach, what do you think you saw from way over here?" Well, that response is invalid because he could say the same thing about the official who threw the flag. The second is, "My partner had a good look." That's also invalid because the official didn't have a good look. He was 25 yards away. Here's the punchline, and you've heard me preach this time and time again in these weekly dozen videos. Pre-snap, determine your pass play keys based on the formation strength. At the snap, look at your tackle. If you read pass, immediately shift your focus to your keys. Don't stare into the backfield at the quarterback. That's the referee's job. If your key moves more than 10 yards downfield, move downfield and try to stay 10 yards behind. Don't get too close because the play may explode on you. Earn the right to make the tough call. Here's yet another eye discipline video. We'll get right to the teaching point. The umpire is looking at the center, the two guards, and the tackle on the referee's side at the snap. As soon as A9 throws the ball to A3, the umpire must pivot and begin to watch the blockers ahead of A3 and move toward the line judge's side of the field. Notice he's just now turning his head to look at all the players ahead. He's way behind the play right now. The umpire is no longer responsible for the interior lineman. That responsibility shifts to the head linesman who's cleaning up behind the play. The umpire continues to look forward until this moment, and he hasn't moved from his pre-snap position. The line judge hasn't moved down the field, which is a good thing, but he doesn't move back when the runner approaches his sideline. We don't just move back to enhance our safety, we also move back to improve our look. If we're too close, our field of view is limited, and we can't see the play fully develop. The line judge should not be laser focused on the runner. He needs to focus on the players in front of the runner. By backing up, he could see more players and have a greater big picture field of view. What have we said about colors going against the flow? Watch for them. That's a pretty significant blindside block the crew completely missed. I like how the line judge looks out of bounds at the runner as he marks forward progress. Umpires, start to look at blockers ahead of the runner and start to move toward the near hash. Line judge, don't laser focus on the runner. He completely missed that blindside block. The umpire was too far away. I'm not sure the position of the back judge. Rule 962 says no player shall intentionally go out of bounds during the down and return to the field. The pass is intercepted at the B28. Two defensive players collide and are right on the sideline. The runner scoots up the sideline. The intended receiver has a player right in front of him. The defender does not block him. The teammate player intentionally steps out of bounds at the B27 to avoid the player near him and stays out of bounds to avoid his teammate who missed a tackle. He does not return to the field of play until he reaches the B37. He should have been flagged at the spot of his return. Interception, collision, and that offensive player stepped out of bounds intentionally to go around two players so he could have a clear line to the runner. I don't believe in football gods, but if you do, you can say the football gods interceded. The Team A player missed the tackle at the A45, and the Team B player scored. So in the big scheme of things, the crew's failure to recognize and flag the illegal participation did not really matter. Let's say the line judge properly flagged the player in white for illegal participation. If that player had made the tackle at the A45, the 15-yard penalty would be added to the end of the run. Team B would next snap the ball at the A30. If he missed the tackle, as in this clip, and the runner scored, Team B would have the option of enforcing the penalty from the try or the subsequent kickoff. This final video stresses the importance of keeping a cushion to the players. The ball is snapped 1st and 10 from the B34. You can tell it's 1st and 10 because the front stake guy is stretching the stake and placing it down at the B24, and one of the chain crew is repositioning the clip. We don't want the wings to bounce. Turn your torso so it's facing the goal line and move down the field while watching the play. If you have your torso parallel to the sideline, you have to shuffle, and shuffling leads to bouncing. There is no reason for the line judge to rush into the players. His spot is not critical. The money line is 5 yards away. He doesn't need to find the precise spot of the ball. He's already squared off at the B30, so stop at the 9-yard mark and dead ball officiate. The umpire can clean up the pile. The line judge should stop about here. Let the umpire go into the pile. Umpires, use your voice, use your presence, use the ground to get up. Roll off. There's no reason for this line judge to go all the way into the pile. See how the spot is compromised when he moves around the players. He's doing the job of the umpire. He needs to stay back and keep a wide field of view. And notice that head linesman on the opposite side. We want him to come out to about that 9-yard mark. That would be the top of the numbers if this field was numbered. That's your weekly dozen oldies but goodies. Thank you for watching. If you encounter any interesting plays during your season, I'd love to see them. You can send them to me at contact@artofofficiating.com.